happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
It united us. So we know what it happened. We saw what happened with our own two eyes. And it's interesting because after it happened, the media refused to actually call it what it was. They simply said there was a loud popping noise, and it was every single station, every single outlet on the internet. They all published the exact same thing. They refused to acknowledge what it was. If it had been the other way around, if it had been someone else, oh, it would have been different. But because it was him, this happened. And everyone saw it for themselves. And they all saw how the media responded. And they saw even how Biden responded initially, saying he doesn't want to label it. You know, he has an idea of what it was in his head, but he doesn't want to say anything until the law enforcement has properly investigated it. Unbelievable. Guys, on social media right now, there are people who are saying that the whole thing was staged. Absolutely staged. But guess what? What happened after it occurred? Everyone immediately began to cheer as he pumped his fist into the air and said, "Fight, fight, fight." If you look at that, honestly, look, he didn't even want to leave. He didn't even want to leave. All right. Now, when you talk about uniting us and having someone who represents us, he represents the best of us. He represents strength. So many people would have tried to run away. What did he do when they were trying to take him off the stage? He says, "Stop, stop, 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 stop." And he pumps his fist because he wants everyone to see that no matter what happened in that instant, he's going to stand strong. In a society that demonizes masculinity, it's needed more than ever. They call it toxic. Guys, this is what we all needed. It's a show of solidarity. And boy, oh boy, are people showing solidarity now. And they are directing their at the media, who for months, used terrible rhetoric saying that it would be a crisis if he got elected. They used terms like a threat to democracy. What, guys, how did this happen? The media radicalized the young man who was involved in this, the Gen Zer. Gen Z has been messed up by the media, by social media and the mainstream media. The guy involved in this was only 20 years old. Okay, he was a registered Republican, but that means nothing. He came from a very conservative household. So naturally, he would register as a Republican because his father was a Republican, his mother was a Republican, and everyone probably in his family were Republicans. But it doesn't matter anymore. As you guys can see, these people have their own minds, and they will think whatever they want to think, but it's all been exposed and laid clear now. If things weren't bad before, when we saw the Joe Biden debate and we saw how Biden performed there.
Do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they've raised $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Yeah, there you guys go. There you guys go. This is the reality now. Okay? All Trump had to do was just stand there and let him speak. Bro cannot speak without a teleprompter. There are videos of him reading from the teleprompter, and then he says end quote, because he's reading entirely from the teleprompter. When he's reading from the teleprompter, he can sound fiery and someone that can stand up to anything, right? But when he doesn't have a teleprompter in front of him and he's forced to actually respond without a teleprompter and to, think fluidly, it's not happening. Bro cannot answer questions without a teleprompter. People can barely have a conversation with him. And, it came out that many of the interviews he was doing, they were using questions that were sent from the White House, or he was given the questions in advance, so he knew how to answer them in advance. How ethical does that even seem? Who would do something like that? Guys, they can't hide it anymore. And this event just united us completely. I mean, think about everything he's gone through. He was charged he's the first president to be impeached twice. He was impeached twice. He was investigated for collusion, which they found nothing. All right. The Simpsons went after him and they're like, oh, well, we didn't get him for that. The media, the Hollywood, all of these institutions, social media, everything was out at him, and they were all liars. And what does Biden keep on saying, and Jill keep on saying? He lies. He lied 28 times, but they didn't tell us what his lies were. What did he actually lie about? And then if you go back and try to fact check anything that they do say he lied about, and they'll actually say, then you're like, but he didn't actually lie here. He never said these things. So who are the actual liars? They're the people trying to shift the narrative. They created the whole damn thing. Guys, you have to understand, there's a specific agenda among specific people who want specific things to remain the same. All right? A lot of people from the boomer generation, they know exactly what's going on. They know what's going on because they're the ones who created the system. They're the ones who built it this way. And they don't want anything. They don't want anyone to mess around with what they've done, because they're going to ride off in the sunset one way or another. And if you think that you're going to come around and mess things up for them, then think again. George Carlin said this back in the early 2000s or the 90s. He said that these are cold people. Just do it. Life is hard, man. This is the type of thing that the boomers were saying. He said they were cold people who want to make life harder for younger generations. This is what George Carlin was. Silent generation comedian. He was a comedian, but he was also a philosopher. And to be honest, many comedians are philosophers. From comedy, we often draw quite a bit of philosophy. Philosophy and comedy go hand in hand. It's unbelievable. I mean, guys, you can see how bad it is with Biden. Just look at this. He's over in Italy at a summit, and he starts wandering off, and everyone just, like, all these other people just ignore it. The host, the Prime Minister of Italy, walks over, and she decides to go and grab him and pull him back and say, no, it's time for you to come back, because he was wandering off. He forgot where he was. And then the White House was like, oh no, he was trying to talk to the parachute. He was talking to the paratrooper, the guy who jumped out of the plane. He was talking to him, They're trying to say that he was talking to, let's see if we can back up a little bit. That guy, see the guy on the right? The guy on the right who's with the parachute. He was talking, oh no, the president was just trying to talk to him. No, he was wandering off. There's a doctor, a Parkinson's expert, who visited the White House 8 times over the last 2 years. No, correction, 10 times over the last 2 years. He met with the physician, the White House chief physician, 3 times, but they won't tell us what the other 7 times were for. Who he met with the other 7 times. Did he meet with the president? We're not able to discuss, these matters. That's a private matter, and blah, blah, blah. Did he meet with the president? Again, he was there on business, and that's all we can really tell you. He met with the chief 3 of those times. He met with the he met with the White House's physician, and then the other 7 times, that's between us and God. That's between us and God. No more questions. That's how they answer questions at the White House. They completely deflect. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's more than likely that he had this issue going on. It's more than likely that he had this issue going on before he even stepped foot into the White House. He already knew that he was diagnosed with the condition, and he kept it secret. That's my guess. That he was already diagnosed with it, and he kept it secret and didn't tell anyone. And they told him that, like, hey, you're gonna go through this decline. If you look at how he is right now, these are advanced stage. This looks like an advanced stage. All right. Usually that doesn't just happen over 4 years. Like this has been going on for much longer. This may have been going on for maybe even 10 years, and he felt like he didn't have to disclose any of this to the American people because he knows he would never have been elected. He could never have pulled it off. What do you guys think? Because I think this is so ridiculous. And by the way, guys, subscribe to my newsletter. We have a new newsletter dropping for you guys in about 24 hours. Subscribe to the newsletter for my personal thoughts and insights. The next one's going to be a doozy. It's linked in the description of the video. It's a free newsletter, so go and subscribe. And guys, join us over on the Angry Guy community. That's on Locals. It's angrygalaxy.com, linked in the description of the video. There's exclusive content. You can help support the channel. And guys, you can go over there, talk amongst yourself. You don't have to worry about your comments start being constantly vanishing. They united us, y'all. It united us. And of course, the media, social media, these companies that basically leveraged all of this garbage and said all of these things, they're going to be held responsible. They may be out there right now trying to delete videos, but they will never succeed. All right. Even the ads that Joe Biden up, he's paused all of his upcoming ads. He's paused his upcoming ads because they're the ones who directly led to this matter. They're the ones who directly led to it because of the rhetoric that they were using. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Man, walking away. And cheers.